Super Earth is always thinking about the best for super citizens and Helldivers alike. This time they have decided to drop us a massive tool to spread managed democracy. Today we are going to talk about the best that Super Earth has brought in terms of pew 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 technology. The LAS99 Quasar support weapon. The LAS99 is unlocked at level 18 and costs 7,500 credits. It is extremely effective against bots and terminates, and also more. As it is an energy weapon, it doesn't have any ammo to use. The Quasar instead will have a 3-second charge up time and a 6 to 10 second cool off after every shot. The cool off time will depend on the planet modifiers. It doesn't have any sync reloads like the heavy laser or any other energy weapons have at the moment. In this case, it's pretty good that it doesn't have a nice change, though not everything is roses. You can think about the LAS99 as a single-shot, more powerful autocannon with some advantages and some significant disadvantages that need to be heavily considered if you are going to use this. Depending on your playstyle and even difficulty, the disadvantages may be too many. The Quasar, just like the autocannon, is not only good to smack enemies, it is better than the autocannon at doing that, by the way. It is a weapon that deals tremendous amount of damage downrange and is capable of destroying certain sub-objectives as well, though not all of them. It doesn't have any bullet drop, so it is fantastic for sniping objectives and certain enemies. The Quasar can destroy bug holes in one shot without needing to be very much centered. Just a shot in a general direction of the hole and the hole will be destroyed. It one-shot mushroom spores, it two-shots shrieker's nests, so it needs a total of 6 shots. So each shrieker objective can take around a minute or so to clear if you are just using this. Still, it's much better than dealing with those flying bastards anyways, at least this is my opinion. I don't like these guys, I don't like the shriekers, they can go to hell. For sub-objectives, it can one-shot antennas, but it is unable to destroy rogue labs. What can destroy rogue labs is subscribing to the channel. 99.6% of you aren't subbed, and it is your democratic duty to do so. For the automatons, it can destroy fabricators, but you really need to be very much pinpoint accurate, very much just like the autocannon. Shoot the bottom of the vent, one shot is enough, it doesn't really need much clearance. It doesn't work if you shoot the open door. I couldn't blow it any other way anyways, no matter how many shots I threw at the fabricator. Mortars are one shot, cannon towers are 2 shots at the heatsink, anti-aircrafts are 1 shot. For the cannon towers, you can actually spam besides just the sink, but it will take about 4 to 6 shots to send it down. One of the biggest advantages of against the bots, it is the possibility of downing a dropship by shooting one of the engines. It can be a lifesaver, especially at higher difficulties. There's really only a small window of opportunity for that though. Dropships come fast, they drop fast, and they come in numbers. With a bit of correct timing and cover, it is possible to send these bots down or at least destroy a few of them while the dropship drops on top of them. Now let's talk about enemies. The Quasar completely melts all of them, though it suffers from some of the same issues as the railgun. We'll talk about that just a little bit later. The Quasar discharge is explosive. That means it can clear multiple enemies at the same time if they are compacted in a bunch, just like the autocannon. Unless that's the case, it's a waste of time. And this time around, literally, because the charged shot takes too long to deal with a single low-end soldier. Therefore, its use can't be as indiscriminate as the autocannon. The LAS99 use, it needs to be considered, thoughtful, deliberate, just like drinking a cup of liberty. Mid-level grunts like warriors, hive guards, brute commanders, stalkers, bile spewers are basically completely blown away by the Quasar. One shot and they are basically totally gone from the map. So let's talk about the chargers. Chargers then are essentially one shot to the heads and they are dead. It doesn't matter if it's the regular or the armored charger. It doesn't stand the firepower of this
fully armed and operational battle station.
However, shooting it at the back, at the meaty part, it is 2 to 3 shots. It can also clear the armor if you don't hit it a straight shot. It will leave the charger with lower health, and then you can clear it with another weapon instead of waiting for the charge, or wait for the cooldown and smack it again just for good measure. As for the Bile Titan, it's where it's suffering from the biggest downside, which is the same bug as the railgun. Still, good news, in the PlayStation 5 the Quasar is a 2-shot weapon at the Bile's face. In the PC it is about 4, but it has the same capabilities of removing large chunks of armor or blowing the throat of the Bile altogether. That means it won't be throwing vomit acid at you. I really find this a success compared to the railgun. It will still take some time to send it down if you just choose to use the Quasar, but with the significant amount of armor it takes per shot, it makes the Bile Titan a lesser of a threat and easier to send down. Unlike the autocannon, this is viable against Biles, and unlike the railgun, it doesn't really need 15 shots. Now for the rust buckets, the communist bots don't stand a chance against the Quasar. Every single bot is essentially 1 or 2 shots at the chest or heads. Berserkers are 1 shot unless you shoot the arms. Devastators can't stand a chance if you shoot it at the backpack or at the face. And sometimes they are hilariously underpowered against it. 1 shot and almost everything blows up. The heavy devastator will stagger if you shoot the shield, so target the back, or if you can, target the head. The Hulk, interestingly enough, is 1 shot against the center of the chest, the red thing, and 2 shots against the weak point at the backpack. As for the tanks, they go out in 2 shots, but it really depends where you are shooting them. They can take 4 to 6 shots to the front, it's just 2 at the heatsink at the back. Now you'll be saying, okay, what's really the downside of using this? All of this sounds excellent, but by itself, it's really not like that. The Quasar presents significant hurdles in terms of gameplay, at least in my experience. At higher difficulties, especially automatons, the charge-up time is incredibly tough to manage. Automatons at higher difficulties will drop with plenty of devastators, tanks and hulks at the same time. The area may be target rich, but it's also missile and projectile against you rich. The same type of logic is going to be applying against the Terminids as well. Terminids mostly don't use projectiles like the automatons, just the vomit, and not even in all maps. Their tactic is centered around fast-moving mobs, and some of them, like the hunters, will use flanking. Therefore, the Quasar needs to be used extremely deliberate if you are using it against any type of enemies. At the heat of the moment, when you need to perform for democracy, the results may be limp. Even against some objectives, targets, or sub-objectives, it can become quite of an hindrance because of the charge-up time. The charge-up time for me is the biggest downside, not particularly the cooldown, even though it can take up to 10 seconds. Because keeping your head showing without being able to shoot back or do anything until the Quasar spits its freedom balls is kind of tense. If you are able to go around this issue, like pre-charging it before popping out, it can be incredibly clutch, like it can be incredibly clutch against objectives from miles and miles away. I think the personal shield goes well with the Quasar to mitigate some of the issues, namely with that charge up when you need to show your face more time than you would expect. But anyways, let us know below what you think about the Quasar and what type of stratagems you use with it.